Today we're converting my mom's lasagna recipe to a vegan lasagna recipe. This is the recipe I'll be using to design the user experience and the interactions for how to veganize recipes on Vegify. So this is an important one for me, not just because I'm trying to build this software, but also because I love this recipe. I must have had my mom's lasagna 10,000 times growing up. That may be hyperbolic. I'm sure it's closer to 5,000 or 6,000. This is a really delicious recipe, calls for cottage cheese. You can use Kite Hill ricotta. I used a homemade vegan cottage cheese to save myself some money. It's pretty cheese heavy, and so if you got some vegan cheeses you like, this is the recipe to use them in. So let's get started. First, I need 1 pound of vegan ground beef, 6 ounces of Beyond sausages. I love these sausages. Oh, they're so good. This is exciting. So we're going to start with our Dutch oven. There we go, that's a lot better. Oh, that already smells so good. Normally you chop your vegetables before you put your meat on heat, but you know, I just kind of started filming. I'm still new to this whole YouTube recipe stuff. I'm gonna get the hang of it. Thanks for enjoying the content in the meantime. Add in a clove of garlic. You can use more than 1 clove of garlic. I'm staying true to the recipe today, but really you should follow your heart when it comes to how much garlic to put into a recipe. Garlic's delicious. If you don't have a garlic press, you can just mince up your garlic. I like to use a press because it is so much faster. Just like that. Done with garlic. Smells good in here. Smells like ground beef and sausage. And onions and garlic. Oh my God. I love cooking. Can't imagine why I'm working on the projects I'm working on right now. So now we're gonna get the tomatoes ready. You might remember these from our pizza video. They make great pizza sauce. Today, they're gonna make great lasagna stuffing. Now Mom's recipe calls for 16 ounces of tomatoes and 16 ounces of sauce. I'm just kind of eliminating a step where you have to crush those tomatoes. If you just buy peeled tomatoes, they come in their own sauce, you blend them up just a little bit, you get tomato sauce with crushed tomatoes in it. Voila. So that's tomatoes, 2 tablespoons parsley flakes. Silence text messages. Parsley, where you at? There you are. 2 tablespoons. God, that looks so good. I love these new vegan substitutes we're getting. The Beyond beef, the Impossible beef. I don't have a favorite, they're just both good. See, already it's like triggering the memories of like the time I spent watching my mom cook this lasagna. It smells so good. How much sugar? 2 tablespoons sugar. The recipe tells us to drain off all the fat, but with these vegan substitutes, you don't get quite the pool of fatty liquid that you get from animal products. So I'm just gonna kind of leave the little bit of fat that has come out in there, because last time I did this, I did drain the fat, and I ended up with kind of not enough liquid in the sauce, because I let it heat for too long, for one. I let too much of it evaporate, and maybe because, you know, I drained off some of the fat here. So we're just gonna lay the fat in. You can do whatever you want. It's your lasagna, ultimately. I wouldn't say that's quite brown enough yet. God, it looks good though. God, I haven't been recording. Are you serious? Not sure how much I missed there. Whew. It smells so good. I'm gonna have to write a Keyboard Maestro shortcut that monitors that record button and starts a new movie. Note to self. Is the onion tender? It's tasty. I wouldn't call it tender. Oh boy. That's tender. That's good. All right. So now we add in the tomatoes. Pardon my enthusiasm, this looks amazing. Okay, so we're gonna let that heat to boiling. Get started on these lasagna noodles. You know, when I first went vegan, I thought I was gonna have to give up all of my favorite foods. So for like a month, I did. For some reason, I bought into this myth that because we're vegans, we're not supposed to eat the food we used to love in any form, just because the original form of it was animal cruelty. We still like the food. We love the flavor. It's the environmental considerations and the cruelty that bothers us. The idea that we shouldn't eat food that resembles food we used to love but now can't eat because we've had an epiphany, it boggles the mind. I don't know what it is. Go ahead and preheat this oven to 350 degrees. While that's heating, so as I said earlier in this video, the cottage cheese that I made in the other video is the way I like to make this recipe, because my mom's recipe used cottage cheese and it's got that kind of tang that this cottage cheese has got. It's pretty fantastic. If you're willing to spend a little more money, an 8-ounce can, 8-ounce, what do you call it? Not a can, it's like a thing, an 8-ounce thing. The Kite Hill ricotta costs like $8.99 at Sprouts. So 3 of these to get the 24 ounces you need to make one lasagna is like 27 bucks. And that's where you start getting into veganism is privilege territory, because that's a super expensive way to make a lasagna. I'm not gonna lie, I made a sample lasagna with this that was about 1/3 of the size of a regular lasagna. It was very, very tasty. In fact, I finished it before I finished the cottage cheese lasagna. But the price keeps me enjoying this cottage cheese lasagna because it's like 1/3 of the price for the same amount of cheese. But you know what? It's your lasagna. You do how you like. If you got that cash to spend on that Kite Hill ricotta, by God, go for it. It's fantastic, I'm not gonna lie. Here we go. We got some boiling water. Let's get this lasagna cooking. Get those noodles underwater as fast as you can so you get an even cook on them. Just kind of bend them into place here. There we go. Try not to break them whenever you do this. It'll make laying out the lasagna more difficult later, but definitely get them underwater. Now y'all are learning how incredibly not skilled I am. There we go. That worked out better than I thought. Cottage cheese. God, that looks so freaking good. Tofu, freaking vegan mayonnaise, cashew milk, and salt. I never would have guessed. It's delicious. If you don't believe me, try it for yourself. And if you hate it, I guess I was wrong, but I love it. I've got Violife Parmesan here, which is fine. I'm okay with Violife. I'm not the biggest fan of Violife, as you've seen in our taste test video, but their Parmesan is actually pretty solid. I don't use as much as the recipe calls for. I just sort of sprinkle it in there for a little bit of hint of flavor, but it's all right. It's pretty good. It definitely improves the lasagna, I'll tell you that. The way to make this work is to get vegan cheeses you know you love. Experiment with vegan cheeses. Everyone is different. That is what I learned from the massive cheese taste test video, which is the second video on our channel. 1 tablespoon parsley flakes. Half a teaspoon of salt. Oregano. 1 teaspoon of oregano. I love the smell of oregano. How Americanized is that pronunciation? Oregano. I got trained as an opera singer, so I do this really pretentious thing where I pronounce Italian words using trained Italian diction. I'm sure every Italian in the world who's ever met me has rolled their eyes immediately. They have to suffer through me pronouncing things at them. Check and make sure this thing is al dente. Ended up with some crunchy lasagna noodles last time. Don't cook crunchy lasagna noodles. Get you some al dente business going on. They're bending nicely. Do they taste okay? This is my professional technique for al dente. No, we're not there yet. That's a little more al dente. To the bite, as they say. So pretentious. Whew. Well, of course it's hot. This is what it says to do on the box. I've learned not to ask questions. I'm sure many who have known me in life are wondering when exactly I learned to do that. I wish I could send smells over YouTube. It smells freaking great. Noodles. Now we start layering. Mozzarella cheese. So as I've mentioned in 3 separate videos now, my favorite combination of mozzarella cheeses is Miyoko's and Whole Foods 365. Try them all. If you're truly committed to finding a good vegan cheese, I guarantee one of them will work for you. I can equally guarantee not all of them will work for you. And you may have knockdown, drag out fights with your best friends on the planet, probably not, about what is the best vegan mozzarella cheese. My take is no, they're not all good, but Miyoko's and 365 are quite good. We're gonna use this side of the grater. I think this one's gonna come out better than my proof of concept that I did last week to make sure this recipe was gonna work. This one's gonna come out better. For one, the noodles won't be crunchy. Put your Miyoko's in the freezer, it grates better, but don't leave it there. Mozzarella cheese and the cottage cheese mixture. I am not gonna lie, I feel really good about the way this looks right now. Oven thermometer says we're at 350 degrees. That's perfect. So at this point, you can refrigerate the lasagna for several hours. I don't know why you'd want to do that because I want to eat this lasagna. But you know, if you've got relatives coming in a few hours and don't want to do it right now, you know, you've got your reasons. If you want to refrigerate it, now's the time. My lasagna pan has this cool cover, and we're not going to use today because we're cooking this thing. Bake uncovered for 45 minutes. Okay. I'll see y'all in a few frames of video. Yeah. Yeah. We like it. Oh boy. Really get those pieces of cottage cheese. Nothing could be finer. This is exactly the way I remember it from when I was a kid. Sans cruelty, sans environmental damage. It's so hot, why? But it's so good. It tastes exactly the way I remember it from when I was a kid. I wouldn't be able to tell you the difference. Admittedly, it's been a few years since I've had animal products, but I had this recipe a lot when I was a kid. This tastes great. We'll be releasing the software eventually. I'm coding the front end right now. I finished a little bit of the back end and the API and the database last week. It's slow going because this is my first big project like this, but we'll get it done eventually. Subscribe if you like updates. Thanks for watching this video. If you are interested in more recipes from us, be sure to subscribe. If you like the recipe, be sure to like it. And, you know, hit that bell if you want notifications for when we make a new video. All the good YouTube stuff. Time to eat too much lasagna. I gotta make some friends. Thanks, y'all.